much, guys. Shawn Ray here from MuscularDevelopment.com. I'm from my home office. I'm actually headed to the airport right now, getting ready to fly to Barcelona, Spain for the 6th Arnold Classic Europe. And last year we saw the defending champion, Dexter Jackson, come off a first-place runner-up. This time he's coming off a third-place finish at last weekend's Mr. Olympia Championship to none other than former champion Shawn Ray. And this looks to be kind of a rubber match between the two. However, we cannot discount the fact that fourth-place finalist Big Ramy was the toast and talk of the town after Phil Heath. Now, going into this competition, it should be Dexter as the odds-on favorite because he's been known to improve with competition time. He travels very well. He's a seasoned veteran. He pulls the water out. When he does bad, he typically rebounds and he does better. Shawn Ray, on the other hand, here's a guy who is kind of hit and miss. I mean, he came out, he was really flat. His shoulders really weren't popping. His back was very shallow. He had a little bit of stomach distension in that tiny little waist. And there wasn't a whole lot going on with Shawn Ray, but by default, he was able to overcome Dexter Jackson, who was pretty much flat throughout the Mr. Olympia weekend. Big Ramy came out flat on Friday night. Saturday, he almost looked like he was Mr. Olympia. So how will Big Ramy do traveling from Las Vegas to Spain? Typically with a big guy, a lot of times they hold water. Shawn Ray, he has to know that Dexter Jackson is there. He has to know what Dexter Jackson is capable of. And at 46 years old, 47 next month, Dexter Jackson has got to be the odds-on favorite to hold on to that title and rebound from last weekend's defeat to Shawn Ray. And Phil Heath, of course, is sitting it out. There's a couple of other players. Big Rolly Winkler, we talked about him. When he walked out onto the stage, he was big, he was monstrous, he had the wow factor. But as the show went on, the waterworks started coming out. The paint started running off. His legs filled up with blood. And he just kind of looked like he was in over his head. Needs to pull down and suck down, like Chris Cormier had said, suck down a few pounds, bring out some more water, and he'll be okay. However, he is traveling a long way to Spain, and typically those type of flights will make you hold water. Dallas McCarver, I believe, may be on this tour, and if he is, I think he's another guy that we have to look out for and consider. However, he's a rookie, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of things out of Dallas McCarver. Brandon Curry, again, here's the guy a lot of people keep begging that he should suck down to the 212-pound division. I don't think he can make that weight, but on that stage, he definitely looks like a 212 bodybuilder. This is a kid that won the Arnold Classic in Brazil, seasoned professional. I don't look for him to be challenging at the top because he started so far back at the pack last weekend, wasn't in the top 10. Victor Martinez, another former Arnold Classic Europe champion, the original. Victor Martinez left out of that top 10. A couple of players not going to Spain. He may be able to climb up. He may be just hungry enough that he might wind up getting into that top 6 mix. His legs were noticeably down. The upper body was there. Victor Martinez, we can never count out a guy like that. Big Alexander Fedorov, the Russian, his name is on the list. He was in Baltimore. Didn't really make much of an impression. Maybe he went back to the drawing board and has corrected some of those mistakes, most notably the backside where he carries a lot of water. He's a big kid. Michael Keflianos, the guy from Greece and via Australia. Keflianos is a veteran. He competes a lot. I haven't seen much of him this year. He's a guy that if he's going to make any kind of impact, he's got to find his way to get shredded once again. Big Ben Pekulski, he just lost the wow factor. The legs were there, the calves were there, turned around to the back. He said it's been a long 3 years since he's been back to the Mr. Olympia. He's still got a little bit of ways to go before he hits his stride. So overall, the surprise of the competition last week at the Mr. Olympia was William Bonac. Now, William Bonac is probably, pound for pound, the biggest guy that'll be on that stage next to Big Ramy. Very short, heavily muscular. If he listened to the critics and drops a little bit of water weight and holds his stomach throughout the competition, William Bonac, once again, could be a force to be reckoned with amongst the giants on that stage and the beauty of a Dexter Jackson's physique. Shawn Ray's got to figure out whether or not he wants to be big or he wants to be flat. Somewhere in the middle, because right now he is the least talked about first runner-up Mr. Olympia in recent years. And we just are trying to figure out what the problem is. We know that he's been working with Aceto. It's touch and go. It's hit and miss. Progress comes over the long haul. However, Shawn is not young by any means, but he's younger than Dexter Jackson. So let's find out whether or not Dexter Jackson, with all of his gifts, can regulate Shawn to second or maybe even third behind Big Ramy and get redemption. Dexter Jackson was more disappointed than any of the other bodybuilders Olympia weekend for getting third, and mostly because he was beat by Shawn Ray. So let's find out what Shawn Ray is made of. We've got Dexter Jackson, Shawn Ray, Victor Martinez, 3 of the last 5 guys to win the title of Arnold Classic Europe. And of course, I'm leaving out Phil Heath, who won one as well. So he's not going to be there on the stage. Rumor has it Kevin Levrone is going to be competing. Kevin Levrone will be in Spain. He's representing the Kevin Levrone Signature Series, so he'll be there. Along with that, we have women's fitness. Oksana Grishina wins again at the Olympia. Last year she won in Spain. Most likely she will win again. She's defending her title. I believe this will be her 3rd or 4th. Tanji Johnson, Whitney Jones, all the major players in fitness, Rita De Silva, Marta Aguiar. It's all going down this Saturday. Follow my play-by-play at musculardevelopment.com. Arnold Schwarzenegger will be in the house with IFBB President Rafael Santoa. First time ever in Barcelona, Spain. Check us out. We'll get things kicking on Friday. This is a one-day competition, which definitely favors Dexter Jackson. If I got to go out on a limb, I'm going to predict that Dexter Jackson, William Bonac, and Big Ramy are going to upset Shawn Ray on the way to Spain. For musculardevelopment.com, I'm Shawn Ray.